Okay. The button has been clicked. All right. So the first thing we're going to go over, if it's cool with you, I want to go over the Fearless set first.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sick. So this is from Jailbreak. How long ago was Jailbreak now? Like 2.5 weeks?
Yeah, I think so.
Gotcha. All right. There are a few things I do want to point out about kind of the matchup in general. Is that obviously this is a very like horizontal matchup compared to a lot of floatier matchups. Oops, get me over there. And this is Lucario specific, but this is an optimization. Is that before side B sends you into tumble here, if you try to tech, then you get locked into the shield and subsequent shield drop, which is usually not what you want.
Oh, so that it didn't even knock me down.
Correct. So let me
Okay.
back up.
I didn't I when I barely saw that interaction for a second, I assumed that I just teched in place and he read a tech in place.
Nope. So you see your shield
Yep.
flicker.
Yep.
And because you try to tech in place, that's why your shield flickers. And that's a way that Lucario players, they shouldn't be able to do it, but if you don't
Yeah.
pass the knowledge check, then they get free pressure. You get stuck like, wait, I'm in shield? Like it's hard to tell what even happened if it's super low.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of one thing. And then DI, you got to DI those fares out. You do better on that later in the set. But it is DI. It's kind of like with Marth, right? DIing the forward air in is how you die at 50, and that's that or getting red super hard. So like it's the path of the path of least resistance, as it were.
Yeah.
You missed the balloon, which is unfortunate, but there's a lot of especially against Lucario, a lot of times when just evading is the win. So like earlier here, you get hit on this plat, and you shield drop, and you getting out is the win there defensively.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it'd be great if you can get something really good started, but Marth, especially Marth in that position, does not have a ton to really like work with. Another thing that's really big in the Lucario matchup in general, but also the way both of y'all are playing, is that spot dodges become extremely important for timing. So you'll notice throughout the set, there's a lot of, especially with Lucario's on-hit cancels, there's a lot of spot dodges to throw off timing, or spot dodges to make something miss that otherwise wouldn't. Yeah, and it's his down B is also, it does have that intangibility in the middle that makes it a little awkward sometimes. But you can think of it as the same kind of deal of taking invincibility now, like a spot dodge, right? Taking invincibility now in order to get something later as you whiff. And I really like your use of short hops. We saw it just a second ago there. In this case, you actually managed to dodge this. But in general, staying in the air means that, like staying above this plane, means that Lucario doesn't have his down tilt meteor to break CC. Lucario doesn't have the grab to break CC. So he has to kind of be really, really ready to hit you out of the air. And his forward air is really good for that, the same way that yours is. But because of that, it's pushing the Lucario to kind of jump more and be more airborne, which is how you really get those big strings, especially at low percent. Not to mention the reward and the way to kind of get around CC with down air itself, but even like in conditioning the opponent to being in a place where you are more comfortable or will be more prepared to attack them is very useful. Because between that and how you get a ton of grabs in both of these sets, like you're very on point in that regard of doing a good job convincing the opponent that, you know, hey, you can't just chill and shield. You can't just left right me. I'll down tilt, I'll grab. You know, you use the horizontal speed super, super well. So being able to punish being able and a little more ready to punish them as they try to go around it is a really beneficial improvement. Actually, I was talking about with spot dodges earlier. Here's a really good example. Here, Fearless is trying to basically call out your timings multiple times with the spot dodges to make you whiff. Because then if you whiff the grab...
Yeah, then it's big.
Right.
Making spot dodging a Marth grab is pretty big.
Right. Especially, this is a very scary percent. Because Lucario up tilt is a really good launcher at this percent. Lucario grab is still really good at this percent. But it's also high enough percent to where it could lead to something scary. And y'all are just going back, nice and simple. Actually, before we get too far into this, let me see what you banned. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
I just banned big.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Lucario, I don't have an issue with Lucario on any of the other stages that are shown right here.
Yeah, the smaller stage... Oops.
The set before this where I played Try or T-Ry, whatever, I think we played literally just Smashville PS2 Battlefield, I'm fairly certain. And I just 3-0'd. So I wasn't in, like... And based on that, and same with, like, the boat set where we literally just played on, like, PS2 Metal Cavern, I was just kind of like, I don't really... Like, I don't think Lucario wants to fight me on the small stages. Maybe Green Hill, but historically they never take me there. Like, they ban it from me, so I guess they don't want to play there either. And then they also, even though there's walls, they also don't want to play on FOD and WarioWare. So I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry about those most of the time. Then, obviously, middle 3, I don't really have a problem with any of those. I don't think Lucario wants to go to FD. And Metal Cavern, I don't really care. It is what it is. And
yeah.
So the only ones I don't really want to play on are the big ones where he can live forever. So I'm just kind of like, all right, like if he takes me anywhere else, even if it's like FOD or something where I'm not entirely sure, I feel like based on what I've seen before that Lucario still don't like going there against me, so I'd probably fine.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty solid way to look at the matchup and matchups like this, because like obviously the smaller stages would help Lucario like get those kill confirms a lot, rather than getting 0 to 80, but at the same time you're Marth.
Yeah, that's what I always thought. Is like I'm wondering why like Lucarios don't take someone like Marth who really likes the long flat stages to something tiny. But I mean, I guess they also have the idea that like, well, why would I take Marth who has a giant reach to a tiny stage where his reach is even more of the stage? So it hasn't really been a problem that I've run into where they take me there.
Especially when the neutrals are still open.
Exactly. They just see,
why like, bother taking the risk?
Yeah, like I remember, at Undertow when I played against Boat, I remember talking to Ron and being like, am I worried about like him going to Green Hill? And like, because I like Green Hill, so what if he just goes to Green Hill? And he's like, honestly looking to go into like the big flat stages. And I was like, all right. So I went into the set, didn't strike Green Hill at first to see what he would do, and then he banned it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Don't have to worry about that then.
Yep. It's like Marth can play Marth's game much better based on stages than Lucario can.
Yeah. I think we go to like Smashville the next game, and then I think our last 2 games are either both on PS2 or like one's on PS2, one's on Battlefield, something like that. I don't know. I think he bans Green Hill WarioWare or Green Hill FOD or something like that.
Yeah, it's 2 of those 3.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
Right. So that makes sense to me. I think that's also a really good way to look at it because, like, by default, Marth is usually in control of the neutral against most of the cast. I think that holds true for Lucario. So leaving those stages open where you can just play to your character and then not have to go to that volatile stage is really important. All right, so something kind of weird about Lucario recovery. This was not a decision he made. As soon as he does this, he's doing this to snap to the ledge. As soon as he hits the wall, he loses control and is forced to turn upwards.
I saw that, and that's why I went up, because I'm like, oh, he's going to land, and then he didn't. And I was like, okay.
Gotcha. It's a very exploitable thing at that specific angle. So it's one of those like, hey, if you know, it helps. or it can help sometimes. It's hard to kind of, they have to go for it, but I'm amazed that grab didn't hit. That shield must have come up the frame after that was active. Throughout both sets, I really like how you mix up your recovery as well. I think it's just enough risk to get them to think that you'll do something risky. But the actual risks you're taking are relatively minor. Especially against these two characters, because their edge guarding is very like, I have a strong move, and that's how I edge guard, right? I get the strong move. Yep. All right. So I think what I want to do for the rest of this game, and we can go back to this in a moment. I like that reset. Is to play it at 1.5 times speed.
Okay.
Just so we can see the kind of the broader overall, like where on stage are the encounters happening. Especially because this is a more flat stage. Like once we get a little more to neutral here, we can see like, oh, Fearless was pressuring like very close to you as you were getting off ledge. And just kind of things of that nature. Like, we don't need to slow it down to see that, like, yeah, Fearless is going to just hold ledge there because he's Lucario. But this kind of thing can help, I guess, zoom out is the term I would use.
Yeah, so you can't, so you're not, like, dissecting every tiny little interaction.
Right. There are things that are easier to see and things that are harder to see, but in my experience, at least, usually the bigger picture stuff is what's harder to see by default. Rather than going like, it's a lot easier to say, oh, I DI'd that wrong, or oh, that was a DI mix-up, or like, oh, that was a kill confirm off of down air. Versus, especially on stages with plats, like on Battlefield or larger stages like Dreamland, like, oh, they're escaping to the top a lot. I'm not punishing them for going up there as much as I should be, or things of that nature. So something I think is very important.
And then I just fucking die here.
Yeah, that's honestly a very Marth-esque way too of like just getting your stock taken at the last second. It's something very important here is that you're getting a lot of mileage off of these grabs, but it's not like guaranteed mileage. It's like a lot of pressure, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but once you're out of like up throw, up tilt, which is a really tiny window, you don't really get a lot off of throw until you start being able to like F throw or down throw F smash.
Right, there's that big gap.
Once you're past like 30, then you have to like start doing tech chases or something. Or if you know he has no aura, you can try and up throw him into like a juggle, try to catch the jump or something because he doesn't have the aura to do like a down B cancel or something.
Usually down B cancels aren't good to get down from juggles. So like, if this is, I'll keep blues. If this is Lucario, this blue right here, the down B cancel by definition he only can go with these 45s. So unless you're coming in from the side, you don't have to worry about him getting out with the down B cancels. Down B's also not invincible for a brief, like it's not invincible frame 1. I don't have the exact numbers on me, but it feels like 4 or 5 frames of, at least, of startup before it's invuln. So between, like, if you're down here, you have your sword going this way to Shark, he's more liable to down air versus try to down B most of the time. And for Lucario specifically, there's also, I think there's also a world where you just kind of let them burn the aura, because, like we see here, you die because of the spike. Yeah. It's a spike, not a meteor.
Yeah.
And that introduces a lot more Like if they get down, okay, cool. They're on last stock with no resource. They can't down B cancel and neutral. If I hit them away, they can't be tricky with extreme speed cancels. You know, I don't die at 85 to a command grab. It's kind of a decision, but it's one of those things like sometimes you'll see Lucarios come in with a top here with a down B into Nair as they recover.
Yeah.
That's kind of not too bad sometimes, especially if they're high enough to be in this corner already, because they burn the resource, and it's not really going to significantly hurt you. Like there's definitely, I think even in this set, there's a time where it turns out you like accidentally jump into it as they come back, as Shahid comes back. But the majority of the time, the Nair will be like second or even third hit, or it'll just kind of like weakly hit you, and it's more of a reset to neutral versus the possibility of a kill. And sometimes even against other characters, there's a little bit of like, just if you think you're going to get hit, just DI in such a way that you don't die. Even on like guessing a DI mix-up wrong, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like you challenging him there with fair. There's not really any reason not to press fair here, because like you're right there. It's definitely going to hit. It only hits if he's too slow, but he is too slow in this instance, so it works out. I liked that back air because seems like one of the pain points of like you're really good at getting the grabs, but they do like 4% in a tech chase, and grab is your best tech chase option, or your easiest tech chase option. I like this back air here because it's much higher reward at 10%, and it also sets up for the same kind of it either sends them off stage. If they were ASDIing down, it might re-tech chase. Maybe if they were DIing up at lower percent, it could be like, bear fair. It leads you to a lot more situations where you're in a significant advantage as opposed to just grab tech chasing. It is harder, but that is kind of the trade-off. Again, I like that you're just willing to just escape the situation as your defensive option here. So you get pushed off with Nair. You seem ready for it.
I can't imagine I wasn't trying to shield drop up air there and I got pushed off the platform rather than being able to shield drop. I can't imagine I wasn't trying to do that.
Gotcha.
On that situation, right on that platform. Like right here, I probably got up, shielded, and I was probably trying to shield drop up air this. Like I'm just thinking, what would I be doing here? And I'm like, I'm probably trying to shield drop up air that, and I got knocked off. And then I probably just rolled because my stick was probably just being held that way to try and drift into him.
Gotcha. I think this is worth...
It ended up just weirdly option selecting what happened in that regard, I think. Because I don't know why I would do that.
I think this is still a win, though. Like, especially since...
Oh, yeah,
if you recognize that you're going to get pushed off, you can just evade... Because that's one of the scary things about this mix-up, right? Is he has aura, you're at side B killer percent. Nair becomes, okay, you have 3 hits with which to go into side B, and Nair 1 will just kill outright. So just evading the situation or resetting is, I think, it's not bad here at all. I think we talked about this last time. But now, I don't know the hitbox interaction super well. I just know that Lucario snap is great.
Man.
So
I try to get a little farther off against Lucario to try and get that to hit because I know he snaps from really far. So I try to get like closer to the edge than I would against another character, and he still just goes right past it.
Yeah, you might need, if you want to stay on stage, you might need very specifically spaced down tilt or even like landing fair or dare, and I don't think those would have a particularly high success rate either.
Yeah.
Like, look at this.
Yeah, I know. That's why it always baffled me when I would play against Lucario. I'm like, dude, how is this not working? Am I doing something wrong? And it's like, no, dude. Like, this looks fucking pixel perfect, and he still just goes right fucking through it.
It's probably a height issue more than a horizontal spacing issue. I'm not sure if he has the hurt boxes.
I'm probably
that go
being
up to
deceived
here.
by those blue lines,
Oh, by these?
thinking that that's like hittable.
Yeah, I think that's just an effect. I would assume that the
Like
highest
he
thing.
goes under it, but like all his weird effects that happen like are all over the place. So I'm just like, yeah, he's got hitbox. I can do that.
Yeah, just kind of smear it a little bit. But yeah, I think either in the same way that you would edgeguard Spacey side B by like going off stage with a forward air, just a sour fair, you can edgeguard either edgeguard Lucario with that, or at least force him to go high sometimes with his up B. Where then you can, if you happen to pick the safer option, let me pause and. So if Lucario is, make him blue. Lucario's here, and he's going to side B horizontally and snap. You might be able to run off forward air, get that sour spot, and send him to his death.
The only thing that I'm worried about doing that is that weird ass win box.
Right.
I have definitely done that and been sent straight where that yellow arrow is, specifically because of like the weird win box. It's like we trade and I'll hit him away with weak fair and I just shoot down towards the bottom of the stage.
It might be worth labbing in that case. Just practicing.
That's the only reason
bit.
I'm scared. I'm sure like if you time it perfectly, you'll get it and that works. It's just I'm always scared because if I trade in that weird win box, because sometimes the win box won't shoot you into Neverland and sometimes it does.
Yeah,
so I'm usually just like I don't want to mess with that move if I don't have to.
That's understandable, but if you're not gonna mess with it with a little more risk, then I think the success rate of the onstage edge guards is low enough to where the Lucario is going to get to ledge 90% of the time, and not have to worry about it, which is also a problem. It's like the same thing with Mewtwo. If I can just teleport to ledge and you're not going to stop me, not only do I get to ledge every time I get hit off stage, but I don't have to. This is not a point of stress anymore. This is I got knocked off stage. Okay, I'll get to ledge. So
I could try to like, if I call out that he's going to ledge and I just grab it and he like goes through me, it'll force him to land on stage, right? Because the up B will like just do whatever and he'll like go on to stage, right? It'll curve him upward or whatever.
It depends on the distance he has left, but he does have to curve upwards, yeah.
Okay, so in that case I could use that to force a landing and then punish that. That might be a safer way to do it.
Yeah, I think absolutely. Because we saw earlier, he didn't have enough like distance left, so he only like curled up and then was gonna fall to his death.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna land on stage or like hang there for a second, so I tried to dare him and he just grabbed the ledge instantly. I was like, oh, okay.
So what you can do is grab ledge, let him just fully pass through you.
Yeah, let him do his thing, and then
he either falls or he has all that landing lag out of his up B, and you have plenty of time to then see which one of the two it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
You also have a little bit of leeway. Like, if it seems like he's way out here and he's only barely going to get to ledge in the first place.
Oh, then he's just insta-dead.
Right. And similarly, if he's right next to it and you steal the ledge.
Then I know he's going to kind of fly up pretty high.
Right. So apparently Lucario down B is only in Vuln frame 13 onwards.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you said 4 or 5, I was like, that sounds faster than what I remember someone telling me, but I didn't remember exactly either.
So yeah, that's not a significant option for him to get down from your juggles, at least like vertically. The bigger thing is that it's a stall and some horizontal movement, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But yeah, that's kind of that's something to maybe. That was really unfortunate. That kind of trapped you there. That's something to see, because like you're at 50, but so it's not zero risk, but like being able to threaten the stock at 9 is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And right here, Shahid just got to be like, okay. Like the reason why he can go for that in the first place is because he's not afraid of the sword or not afraid of the edgeguard possibility. Because he can just do this, and at least for the duration of this set, you weren't ready with anything consistent to threaten that. You do a really good, but with how much you like Dare and how good you are at finding those grabs, you do a very, yeah, that's just the VOD, unfortunately. You do a very good habit, or you have very good habits to get around crouch cancel consistently. Such to the point that a lot of the times you'll see, not a lot of the times, sometimes you'll see Shahid just like getting hit by fair at 50 and not CCing it because he's not expecting to get hit by something he can CC.
Should have just upbeat that. Oh. He did a get up attack right there. I should just get up attack. I should just upbeat him.
Yeah, that's another really big option that can come out of tech chases. Starting at like 70-ish% depending on character.
Yeah, he's just super dead if I just upbeat that.
Yeah, here he's like dead. But even before he's dead, like getting them off stage, off of a tech chase, with a move that's faster and easier to hit than like down air, for instance, would be really, really big. Then if you combine that with kind of reassessing your edge guards against this class of recovery a little bit, that could be, you can lead to that situation and get those kills and get that discomfort really, really consistently.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't upbeat that. That was super troll.
I mean, it's tournament, and it's sometimes you just aren't ready for stuff.
And I landed that forward tilt. Jesus Christ.
Good forward tilt.
I know, I made it really hard. The uppy would have been just so easy. Getting that was like really fucking weird.
That exact same sequence was in the last game, and it threw me for a loop for a second.
He went over that. That's insane.
Let's see. This is only in 30.
Ah.
Oh, the interpolation.
No,
it's not active.
Is over. The hitbox is over.
Gotcha.
By that point, the hitbox is over. It's only 4 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Gotcha.
There. That's where it's over.
That is super close. At least he burned the aura, though.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't actually get any additional movement options.
I see that stupid jump from ledge, and I'm always like, oh, kill him with F smash, and then he just phases right through me. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah, this one.
This right here. I see that, and I'm like, kill him, and then he just phases right through me.
Gotcha. Well,
I see this jump from ledge that he does that like so many other people do, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I kill that guy. But Lucario just gives me the old psych.
Good news is that this ledge hop, he doesn't have a ton of aerial drift. So when he does this, he can't threaten you. Yeah, because that's not even the invulnerability. That's like frame 4, maybe. It is a movement option that gets him closer to you, but that's not Lucario down B. That's just he wasn't drifting forward. But here, let me back up a little bit and then get the screenshot. Because of that, though, Lucario can't, like... God damn it, I forgot. Because of this little ledge hop, he can't do anything to you. You can just chill. Especially because he has those options of down B to try to, like, read something. If he down Bs, you can... If you want to be safe, you can grab. You could up B for the kill. You could still F smash if you wanted, even. Like, if you just let him come to you, then he either has to ledge dash and do stuff, and Lucario's ledge dash isn't, like, phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't think he's ledge dashed more than, like, 1 time.
Shad's not huge on ledge dashes, from what I recall.
No.
So...
yeah, I was trying to say, he's not the most technical Lucario player. That's not really his thing. He's very consistent, though. Like, he gets more of those really nice strings than other Lucarios, but they're not like super flashy, crazy Lucarios you've never seen before. They're like the bread and butters that he should be getting, and he gets them every time, and it makes you really respect them. Whereas like the other Lucarios I've played, I don't think they've hit me 1 time with one of those like, you know, Lucario death combos into down B, right? I don't think they hit me with one a single time. But they'll do it crazier shit, but they never hit me with that. But Fearless hits me with it every single time he gets a chance.
Yeah, there was a period of time where I was, like a few months, where I was making highlight videos of our weekly back in like 2017. I almost could never use a Shahid clip because he would always get you like 0 to 90 and then just not finish his food.
If he does get like the side B combo, it's like the bread and butter. It's not like he did anything ridiculous. It's just like, oh yeah, there's the setup into that. Yeah, he's done it like 80 billion times.
Yeah,
That's the B&B, right?
it's not flashy. He was
DI,
like
yeah.
mixing up your DI, not like
Yeah, he DI trapped you into the thing. Yeah, there you go. That's
yeah.
it. Nothing ridiculous, but but he ends up being the most consistent.
Yeah, he's big on
That's how I
consistency.
felt playing him. I was like, damn, dude, I'm I'm not getting like hit with anything flashy. He's just way more consistent.
Yep, and he's willing to run you down sometimes too.
That where I was like, oh, okay. You haven't done he's been pretty passive edge guarding me most of the time, so I didn't expect that.
Yep, it's worth doing. Again, kind of like the same. The reason you didn't expect that is because you haven't expected that to be a position of like fear.
Yeah, he hasn't really tried to edge guard me.
Right. So because of that,
like, oh, he's gonna roll up or refresh or something.
Right. That means that's more likely to hit, and also now the next time you get in that position, you have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so about Aura Sphere.
It has so much shield stun, bro. What is up with that move?
It's also very slow. So if you back up, you don't want to back up to shield it.
Okay.
Because, like, I'm assuming this was a buffered roll. It seems like it's about...
I want to, like, shield it and then, wave dash at a shield and be fast about it, but it does not let you do that. It's a lot of shield stun.
It seems like he's, like, plus
so it's
3.
throwing me off. So it was throwing me off the whole time. Just how much shield stun it has. Because I wanted to shield it and move instantly.
Right.
It does not let you do that.
It's something that a lot of people playing against Lucarios who are doing that for the first time. It's like that's not like a very common Lucario situation. The first few times, especially in tournaments, that happens, you don't realize what's even happening. Like, wait, oh, it's the shield stun, and then you kind of get stuck.
Yeah.
But because of that, let me back up to where it was. He gets all this stage for like, I don't want to say free. He does use a resource, but like it's not a resource he cares about. He's at 150.
Yeah. So I just shouldn't try to shield it. I should just try to avoid it.
Yeah, either
don't shield it unless you absolutely have to. Like it catches you off guard in a bad spot and you can't back up.
Don't back up and shield it.
Yeah, like I should like jump to the platform or smack or jab it or something.
That's probably too charged for your jab to work, but like F tilt or F smash. Well, your hand might make F smash weird, but like if you want to clank it, F tilt it. I think.
Okay.
Try that.
It.
I'm not sure.
I know I forward aired it before and it worked.
Yeah, it's not like a charge shot. I think it only does like 16-ish%.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I definitely know I forward aired it before and it killed it.
Yeah.
So I know that that's a thing I can do. Okay.
Right.
Because no, my instinct is run up and shield the projectile so I can then wave dash out a shield and just get rid of it.
Running up and shielding it would be fine, or would not be super bad. But here he catches you on a dash. He catches you, air quotes. He catches you dashing away. So then when you run up and shield it, you're still very far from where he threw it, and he gets all this pressure.
Yeah.
Because now also, like you mentioned, we're moving out of shield, like not accidentally entirely, but like not the way you wanted, and you're not that you are panicking emotionally, but like you're not as grounded as like you should be in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Then he does that again, and I was like, and I didn't expect that at all. I was like, okay.
Yep. Sometimes you gotta just on both ends. Sometimes you gotta just go for it. Mm-hmm. Just burn the resource and the thing that might not work.
He bans Green Hill FD.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those two bans are probably what you would just end up banning most of the time against Marth in this matchup.
And then I just tried to switch it up. I could have gone back to Battlefield. The game was actually going fine. And then I just couldn't kill him at 160 or whatever.
Yeah. But I think that pretty much any of the bottom middle three is going to be fine. Like, it's not going to be significantly different than the other, because neither of y'all, both as players and also as characters, neither of y'all are really using a top plat very much.
No.
So just having side plats and then a longer stage is fine. Oh, that's a good point. Another option to possibly get around Aura Sphere is to power shield it. Specifically,
yeah, I did that before. It's just like a weird hitbox size. Like I feel like it hits me, the hitbox size is bigger than the ball. So I'm always like weirdly guessing. Like it's kind of like with Mewtwo Shadow Ball where it like wiggles. So you can't like fucking tell where the goddamn hitbox is or where it's going to be. So you end up being like, fuck, I don't want to get hit by it trying to power shield it.
Yeah,
it's not as simple as like a laser where the hitbox is pretty damn straightforward. It's like a weird size to it, and it can change based on the charge. So like I usually don't try to fuck with it.
Yeah,
You could definitely. I think I did it once this set too, but I really don't want to try and fuck with that. There's another projectile where I think the exact same thing. That I literally. Oh, Luigi Fireball.
yeah. Plus, Luigi's coming in behind it, so it's less that the fireball sucks, and more that if you get hit, you get jabbed up.
The fireball like it doesn't just go at you in a straight line. It like spins in a circle in midair. So where it is when you shield it is like is really weird and hard to tell. So being able to actually power shield it consistently is not easy, even though it's really slow because it's spinning in a circle in midair while coming at you. You're just like, oh fuck that.
Hey, just memorize Mewtwo's Shadow Ball starts up or low, and then it's just a little wave.
Yeah, definitely.
With your crouch power shield, if you can get below it, it's not too bad, but it is also much higher risk than most of the other ones.
Yeah, that's another where it's like, you get hit by then you fucking die.
Yeah. Okay, this is actually a really good example of kind of like how to handle neutral B. Is that you can either shield it, the tinier ones especially, you can shield and move, or you can just jump it. And even though you don't get the punish here, he is forced to retreat.
And then he tries to dash chance that, yeah.
Right, and then you put him in a situation where like you were in control of the situation. You initiated. You initiated. I like that you didn't go for like a direct punish on the up B, because when he lands with it, you kind of can't. Like, and he's gonna try to catch you coming in. Excuse me. I like that I also like your shield drops here. I think especially in this matchup.
I see I power shielded one right there. Oh yeah, then he gets. I power shielded the horse right there.
Yeah, that was just one of the teeny ones. Yeah, and that's just like that's gonna happen. You have to guess. Oh, something that you might not know. He's getting aura when he hits you here.
Oh yeah, it's like the fucking Ivy shit, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't need to sweet spot nothing though. A lot of the time, it'll usually be F smash for the range, but because of that, be ready for them to cancel into down B.
Okay.
They could also just do Aura Sphere cancel, but they don't move. And usually when the opponent's invincible, with any character, you move around like crazy. Like that's the only thing you can do.
You either move around or you go to ledge.
Right. So when that's kind of a habit that most people have, because you obviously can't hurt them. So rather than Aura Sphere cancel, most of the time people will opt for down B. I really like that option, the Shield Breaker. I think this is a really, really good option. That seems like that. No, not quite. Does not quite punish. Okay. But even though he shielded it, that's kind of what you wanted, right? Like, neutral B doesn't get you much, but now he can't shield for like, what, 4 to 7 seconds, depending? So he either has to start jumping and just trying to get down with down B, where you can shark him, or just really, really try to be mobile and play the dash dance game where stopping is not an option. It was really, really, really hard to tell where you're going to land there. Also, really nice conversion. I didn't think you'd get high enough fast enough for that, but it was true enough. Okay. That little force palm hitbox always makes me laugh. It can make it hard to punish, especially once ASDI down doesn't beat that little hitbox. Okay, so something specific to Lucario with his meter, his aura, is that when the Lucario has two stocks, it's very likely that they will just take the first decent opportunity they get, or try to force an option to use their meter.
Yeah.
because it's use it or lose it. You don't get 2.9 charges.
Yeah,
you
you
get 2
have to-
charges.
If you use it, you can charge more.
Right. So, and this is not like I don't want to say it's not a normal use. This is not the, down B, down smash, and neutral kind of stereotypical way to use it. But it is still something to kind of look out for. Is that low percent, because otherwise he doesn't get anything out of this. And he's probably close to frame disadvantage here if he just lets this rock. But now he can basically just use it as a dash. Not even the jab to like hit you, but it just to like mix you up.
Or just to like try and hit confirm, like be like, oh, did I hit him?
Yeah, if the down tilt connected, then he knows where you'll be, and he can kind of put himself into that situation where he's initiating again. I like your ledge dash up tilts. I think those are really good options they're very punishing options for Lucario to deal with. So why are you're going for down air a lot here in these edge guards? Is there a reason you're not? I don't want to come across like, oh, back air just beats everything. But is there a reason you're not going for back air in these situations? Back up to where you can kind of like see. Because to me, it seems like down air here is extremely precise and only catches if he comes at like this angle, versus back air would cover. Let me get this. Back air would cover a lot more angles, and he would have to do something like really, really more difficult to get around it while accomplishing a similar goal.
If I tipper back air, he's dead. But if it's weak hit back air, which is it's a little weirder with how many angles he can get and how fast it moves, then he can just up E again. Like then he just gets another chance, and now he's high up, so now he can go for like a sweet spot to the ledge. If he's below like that, he can't. So he's forced to either go high or try to like curve below me. And so if down air hits, he just dies. And if down air hits here, he just dies instantly. There's no chance for him to try and up B again, obviously. Unless I somehow get like the weak hit, which usually doesn't happen.
Yeah, he'd have to be going like straight at you.
Yeah, so like if I get tipper back air here, then yes, he's just dead. If I get weak hit back air and he DIs it properly, then now he's actually higher up, and now he gets a better recovery chance than before.
You also get time to put yourself in a better position too. Because here, being on the ledge there, giving him access to those angles is not a great position. Like, here, he doesn't use his double jump. Which is, again, another reason that sour back air isn't, like, great on reward. But
this weird jump I do here is trying to make it ambiguous.
Right.
As to where I'm going to go to ledge, or if I'm going to, like, stay up and try to hit you or jump off back air. It's pretty ambiguous what I'm trying to do. Like, right there, I do that same jump, and that time I was going to jump up and back air him. Gamered on. But I do this exact same jump here, where I jump up, and this time I was going to try and jump up and back air him.
Mm-hmm.
So that little jump is like an ambiguous, like, oh, am I just going to fall to ledge, or am I going to jump up and get you, or am I going to fall to the stage and down tilt?
Gotcha.
So that's why he thought I was going to do something else, and I just fell to ledge and just grabbed it.
Right.
At a certain timing. Like, because it has a timing to it where if he does go low, then I'm on the ledge with invincibility at the same time, which is kind of what happened.
Right, you match their horizontal plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, especially if you're going, like, back air is more likely to hit for much lower reward.
Back air is definitely more likely to hit.
This still isn't a great position, is my point. Because Dare is harder to hit and requires on him going a very specific angle. And that's how you kill. But aside from that, he either gets another chance or makes it back for an awkward punish, where you have an awkward punish when he lands. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And here, like, he also had a timing mix-up because he still had jump. So this is not the best example in the world, but like, even if he jumps here and waits out your invulnerability, that just makes your end worse. Like, let me try to get a screenshot, or not a screenshot, but to pause it where I'm talking about. So like here, right? He's right here, and you're matching the horizontal, which is really good.
Yeah, that's the plan. So that if he does go lower, then I can grab the ledge at the time I need to.
Right, but it's just when he does go lower, I just think that the dare is it's low likelihood of succeeding compared to just, let me go forward a little bit. Compared to just like falling down here, or even if like falling down here, and then you can threaten, threaten double jump bear, and at this distance it would kill pretty much anybody at 120. Like when you're giving him the chance to get his angles here, then you make it really hard to get a precise punish. And what you need to kill here is the precise punish.
Yeah, I didn't want to go for the drop down back here because, like you said, he had the double jump. I think that's probably why I didn't choose that. Just drop down back here while he's trying to up E, because I'm like, oh,
Gotcha.
He has double jump. He could jump at any time. So I want to make sure and just be on ledge so I can adjust to whatever. I didn't want to hard commit to it.
That makes sense then.
But ledge hop back here, I thought that's what you were talking about, was like ledge hop back here instead of ledge hop down here, which definitely has a better chance of hitting him, and it probably does. But it doesn't like kill him and just get the stock unless it's tippered.
Yeah, I think like the choice between ledge hop dare or ledge hop bear is like a personal one here, and I think just the luxury of my character is going to push me towards the safer
if
options.
you were talking about drop down back here, yes, that would have 100% worked. But that is me going for a read there,
right?
On the fact that he's not going to double jump when he has it, and he's going to up B at that position, which I just didn't think he would do.
Yeah, because he can't. He's a little too low to snaps. Now this is a weird position.
That's also why I liked the down air there, because I know he can't go for the side. He has to go either above me or try to go below me where down air kills him.
Right.
So I was more comfortable with that, knowing he can't like go for that sideways sweet spot thing past it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I see what you mean.
But no, if I drop down back here, if that's what you're talking about, that would have 100% worked.
It is a read, and it puts you in a weird position.
Reaction. Yeah.
Because then let's say you went for it here and he jumps,
I could just be fucked.
Right, because now he can just go to ledge.
Yeah, really fast, and I'm just super fucked. So that's probably why I didn't go for that. But ledge hop back here definitely covers more area. It's just, like I said, if I don't get the tipper there, which can be a little weird based on his angles, then he gets another shot. Yeah. Where downer, if it hits, it's just death.
So all of the difficulties here are stemming from the fact that he still has double jump.
Yeah. That's 100% why I didn't just go and hit him, most likely.
Gotcha. Okay. I understand better now. Thank you for helping me kind of figure that out.
Yeah. I thought you meant like ledge hop back here, and I was like, well, there's, give and take to that. But if you were talking about, drop down back here, that 100% would have worked if I went for that read.
But that is also like the hindsight. Like the hindsight of the 100% would have worked in this instance where he doesn't jump.
Yeah. If in this situation where he chose not to double jump for whatever reason, I would have just murdered him.
Yeah,
I was fairly certain he would jump either higher up, like he would jump, before now he would have jumped, or he would jump down there, and I was like, I haven't made a read on that yet. I have no idea.
It's interesting how because to me the reason you would jump like here would be to threaten being able to go to the plat.
Yeah.
Because then you can go here, you can go to the plat, and you haven't really punished him for being on the plat super hard this set.
No.
No, because he hasn't been on the plat. Like, it's not like a failure thing.
I haven't had many times to do that. It's not like it's like a common option. He
right.
either goes to ledge or like lands right on stage or something.
So maybe he was just here to minimize your options, because he keeps his jump when he up Bs. And he does have the aura, too.
He could have been also waiting to see me do something, and when I didn't do anything, he was like, Like, he was probably just watching me to see if I jumped or see if I, like, drifted too far away from the ledge so where he would jump as soon as he sees that. But since I didn't do anything, he was like, okay, I just waited this whole time, and he didn't do anything.
Gotcha.
Because that's one thing I do in the Marth is, like, once I see the Marth drift too far away where he can't grab the ledge, where he's committed to jumping at me, I can double jump over him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's times like that where you could be waiting to see what his drift looks like and then do something, but because I didn't really do anything here, he probably just was waiting the whole time and then was like, well, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, I think just between double jump and then aura, he might have just been like, it is a little like exercise in futility to be like, oh, well, what was he doing? He's probably just doing nothing and just keeping his resources. And if he needs to burn aura, he has it. If he gets hit away, he has double jump.
Yeah.
let's go ahead and wrap this set up, and then look at just real quick. Look at the set with Doctor, not the Doctor set. The set with Doctor,
not the Doctor Mario.
I hate the West Coast. I hate the West Coast. I hate the East Coast. All right. Oh, that was another uppy though. Another position where uppy would have been a pretty decent choice on this grounded punish here.
Oh yeah.
Again, this is kind of one of those situations though where there were so many, possibilities.
I should just literally mash up E.
Yeah, but if he burns aura here and you're mashing up E, you might get hit by bear. So it becomes this really tricky, like, he keeps a lot of his options.
And you see, I tried to do the late fair there, and it just didn't work.
Late fair. Oh, yeah,
I got a little too late, but you see, I tried it there as well.
Yeah, there might not be a good mix of being able to get horizontally far enough away and then hitting low enough on that fair. On the move, not on your timing of it. I mean, hey, you almost died there, you know. B move for B move.
Oh,
I don't know how that bug grabbed you. I want to watch that again.
Fuck? That's a bruh moment.
Oh, you dashed into it. See, so he got his hand behind his torso, and then he just pushes your face into the grab.
Oh my god! I remember seeing that and being like, "What?"
Yeah, without being able to see that specific like Marth dash frame, though, that does look whack. And then the first frame he had already pressed A. He was mashing that button. This is a kill any DI. Something I wish that they had changed, not changed a little bit. I wish that it was a little different in PM, that you could empower the force palm even on whiff, just because I think it only needing to use the resource on hit is a little like meh, a little boring. Also, the idea of having like a super force palm projectile as an offstate edgeguard is weird, and I like it. You've done a really good job on PS2 of using that plat to like threaten horizontal movement and a down air at the same time.
Oh, that hit me during F smash. Hit me from a mile away.
Yeah, that hand. So yeah, I'll point it out here. Like here, this plat and the way you're using it lets you threaten that horizontal movement and the high reward anti-CC option of down air. You've hit a few of those too this game. I think that's
Watch this right here. Right after this, right as I land, I lose that.
I know, because you got your hand, and that's a disjoint. That aura. Lucario forward air is extraordinarily good.
Oh yeah.
So it's one of the life lessons I learned playing this matchup every day or every week for like 3 years. Lucario forward air is a pretty good move. And then, like, there might have been a literally perfect DI where you survive that in the corner, but that's like a big ask on a move, on like a 2-hit confirm.
Yeah.
And Lucario Bear is one of those moves you could just DI like almost anywhere, it feels. I don't know. There's probably some math reason for that, but like when you get hit by a back air here, you could go like all the way up here. I've seen people go all the way over here. Not that low, but it's got this really interestingly wide gamut of angles. All right, so let's just take a real quick look at the set with Doctor. God damn it.
And he took me to Green Hill, game 1.
Little did he know.
He did that before when we played years ago, and I was like, what is this guy doing?
I mean, it seems like it's not a bad Zelda stage. If you're going to have to... because like that kill power, on bad DI, that kick basically killed. It's between that and Dins, and then the recovery. The refresh is the term. That's right, refresh.
And he's dead.
Yeah, there's the Doctor, the Mario player, and the person whose tag is Doctor, who plays Zelda. Okay. So I like this Nair here. Oops, crap. Let me get back to where she's visible.
I will be catching those up Bs later.
Yeah, I've seen it. You do a better job of kind of like stopping it. And even when it doesn't work out, you like clearly it's clear to see that you are looking for it, and which maybe like mistimed a little bit, which is the bigger. That's the more important thing.
I'm looking for a specific drift, and when they don't do it, I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Right. So here,
you can't overextend too much, or you just get reversaled.
Yeah, I think that's a really good mentality to have in this matchup, especially. So like here, when she's out of range, you know that kick is what she wants, so you just chill. Like Zelda does not. It's not a character that really forces the urgency on you. All the scary things about Zelda, for the most part, the scary reversals are reversals. When you forget that lightning kick is very fast, well, relatively fast for how strong it is, or that it hits quite so low. That is an interesting thing to kind of be aware of as well. That when Dr. Lightning kicks your side B, that not only does that actually seem to kind of either punish or come very close.
No, it is. It's a punish.
But also that's not, your side B isn't laggy enough for a Doctor to go, oh, I've blocked side B, and then decide to kick. They decided to kick before they got hit.
Zelda players kick out of shield. It is like in their blood. Kick out of shield. They are fast with it.
Yep. And that's really useful to know in the sense that like usually when someone has decided an out of shield option, they'll just do it when their shield gets hit.
Yep.
So like, I think it was either this set or the set with Shahid, you nair on the platform and you catch the shield drop because the game is too fast for them to see. Oh, this is nair 1, and then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do that all the time because Nagrilla would abuse the hell out of shield drop when we were still kind of figuring out the counterplay, and I was like, oh yeah, just do auto cancel first hit nair on their shield, and they'll be baited to shield drop right into me.
Yeah. Or the difference between letting the nair 2 rock versus like landing up air up tilt. Like a lot of the times when people queue up an out of shield option in their head, the only way they can do it is to immediately just go, oh, my shield's been hit.
Immediately do it. Yeah, they don't like not reacting, just doing it instantly.
Right. So that's a very exploitable thing to do, or thing that's something you can exploit rather. Nice. Yeah, pushing out there, you kind of had to push out there because you got stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they probably could have dared you here, but because they're at 0, like just full on bad times. Yeah, Doctor, there's a lot of very close side Bs too in this set.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm ready to punish as soon as I see it.
Yeah, like especially with Marth speed and that you're ready and looking for them. Yep, that clanking. That's really important. Because especially with down tilt, once you clank that, you can still get the punish and the teleport. It's not a choice of what to punish or of what to cover. It is just covering both. Again, another up B.
Yeah, true.
Especially with the landing lag from this, as opposed to just like the grounded ones. That can be. Because if they're trying to DI a forward throw away, preemptively DI a forward throw away, that can be a big deal. They're not going to get the best DI and up be the first time they get hit by it.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, I don't remember where in the set it was, but there's a point where I think you died a lot. I didn't notice that the first time.
Yeah, there's a reel in on that shit now.
The jab vacuum. Well, no, because only one of the hits hit. I don't think that's a new P+ thing. I think it's a multi-hit, and that's supposed to link to the other ones, but that hit your hand so far out that you get got. That almost true combos to F-tilt. That's hilarious. But there's a point where like you get grabbed and the Zelda immediately back throws, and then you just die to back throw at like 80, or like not 80, but like before it would kill you. There is a kind of, I almost want to say a routine for various throws for some characters. So for like Zelda, you DI in front of them until you see down throw or back throw.
Yes.
And similarly, I don't know about some of the not so floaty cast, but at least for here it is.
Oh, right there. I remember doing that because I should know that, and I'm just like, wow, I really fucked that, huh?
Yeah, it's almost fast enough to work, but it's only if you're really distracted by other stuff usually. But similarly, I know there's Mewtwo's weight and like super floatiness means that usually when you get grabbed at like 100, you just DI down against Marth. I don't know other floaties have that as well. I imagine that like Puff and Zelda probably do, but that is also another thing you can kind of take advantage of. If you think that they'll be DIing a certain way on a throw, you could you can. It's kind of hard for Marth because he has to be precise, and if you're close enough to grab them, a lot of the times it's hard to be. But the up B might have really bad DI if the floaty's been just DIing every throw down and they're expecting to get grabbed. Maybe if they're expecting let's say if they're expecting a Zelda down tilt, they might be DIing away. So F tilt now sends them just straight up and nowhere, which is a good confirm. So if you can find these kinds of traps you can just work into your gameplay, then it can really cause problems for your opponent in the way that they don't know where they're supposed to DI in a given thing. All right. I'm kind of surprised y'all ended up playing on this stage, especially as Zelda. Like, this is a weird pick, not pick, but a weird decision to allow open, or pick. It's just a weird thing. I don't know, but whatever. You're starting to bring this back. Yep. All right. So, something that is really, that Naryu's perfect, actually. Something that is very significant in the matchup, in any Zelda matchup, is this Naryu's. The land cancel Naryu's, you have to work around it so intentionally sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's so good, and it's also Zelda, who doesn't really have a lot of other great options, a lot of the times that can be kind of the threat, right? Let me back up a little bit. Like, what else are you going to do off of tournament winner? Like, off of ledge, right? She has a ledge dash, but
it's not great.
It's not actually awful, but it is. It's not for I think all the primary defensive options like shield, roll, spot dodge. It's mainly that Zelda afterwards with not enough frames of invulnerability isn't great,
and no distance either. It's not like she's gonna be on top of you if you just kind of keep your distance from right next to the ledge.
Her horizontal's actually not that bad. I think she gets to right here-ish.
Really? That's more than her normal wave dash.
Wait, we're at kind of a weird angle. It is more than her wave dash. It's a horizontal. She gets at least right here, I know.
Yeah, okay.
But regardless, this being one of her best options, it's very likely that she's going to do that, either from ledge or just in neutral when she's trying to... Doctor's actually pretty good about
it was really catching... Mostly it was catching me out of my own throws.
Right, because they would do the
B reverse. B reverse right into me, and I was like, whoa, okay.
Right. To the point where even if you shield it, it's still this weird position that isn't a punish.
Yeah.
So when they're on let's say just on ledge for now, because Doctor's been pretty good about mixing it up between ledge, throws, and neutral. If you look for this, you usually don't give anything up because she's too slow to really rush you down here if you don't pressure her on ledge.
Yeah. Especially
Zelda, but even medium, even average speed floaties, they're usually not the ones who are going to be pushing out of the corner because they don't have the tools for it. They don't have the Fox, aerials and short hop. They don't have the Marth speed. They don't have maybe the Icy's wave dash, but that's the exception to the rule for them.
Yeah.
So in these kinds of matchups, especially these lower percents, where you need to get something a little more precise to get like a huge opening versus at 90 you can just F tilt and they'll be knocked off stage. It can be worth it to stand just outside their best option or to play just inside their best option. So if this is, let's say the blue is where Naryus will hit, play just in and just outside of that space, and not only are they more likely to pick Naryus, as the example here, if you're ready for it, you can also mitigate getting hit by it while still having a good punish for them.
Yeah, if I know it's coming and I make a read, oh yeah, you can super hard punish it.
My point here is though, even if you make the read and are wrong, there's like no punishment, frequently at least, because the character is, most characters can't catch Marth, and most floaties specifically can't catch Marth. So if you, let me back up to actually where we have. So if you actually just stand like right about here, well, that's a little far. I can't move things here. Right about here, you still are within easy F tilt, F smash. You know, you could short hop forward with the pressure with fair. You could hold your ground. Like, they still basically have to. Let me use blue. So you know, if they're here and shielding, that's a little far. If they're here and shielding, you can still easily hit their shield and force them off stage.
Yeah, in first game, there's a situation where I'm basically at this exact range, and I just tip or down tilt their shield, and there's nothing they can really do.
Yeah. They can't punish it because they get pushed to ledge.
They get up, I just down tilt their shield, and then they're just like, well, I don't know what to do. Right.
But that means, because that's such an easy, safe, and repeatable option, that means that they can't shield. So I think this will be the last big thing we talk about real quick. And this is a stereotype for like floaties. And there are people who break the stereotype, like DJC characters. Or like, you know, Mewtwo can teleport invulnerably, which is kind of a big exception, but even Peach can, you know, do tournament winner hover to kind of like get a hitbox out at least invincibly. But like, so for floaty ledge options, why do they do the @ sign? AT is so much easier and faster. They can't shield. This at least when you're just holding your space safely here.
Yeah.
So shield. Tourney winner. Well, assuming they're below 100, and tourney winner is on the table, of course. Tourney winner is variable.
Still, still not an amazing option because I'm Marth. I can just swat him out of the air.
Right. Normal get up is kind of the same problem as shield.
Yeah. When you get up attack, you're kind of forced to either, you know, I'm gonna time it the exact same as if you're ledge dash shielding, so you're kind of fucked there. It's probably worse.
Right. And you have ledge dash, which is variable as well. Okay, screw this. LD is ledge dash.
Yeah.
Typing with a.
And I've played a lot of Zelda, and I've never been scared of a Zelda ledge dash. Like, that's just from experience, that it's never been an option I'm very worrisome of. Because it doesn't go far. I've never had it go far enough to where I'm like, oh shit, like I need to really back up. It kind of. It goes farther than some of the other ones, but it's still at a controllable distance where there isn't really much Zelda can do without me just swatting her anyway, or just grabbing her. So it ends up not really being a problem.
The mix-up then becomes ledge dash roll versus ledge dash not roll, primarily.
Yeah.
Which is still, they're taking a guess and trying to guess what you're going to do and doing the correct thing. And even then, they're not necessarily in a great spot.
Yeah, and it's still, and Zelda's roll is shorter than like even Marth's roll. Marth ledge dash roll, he goes really fucking far. Like, he goes really far and totally unhittable. And Zelda's is, you know, given that her ledge dash isn't as far as Marth's, and given that her roll is shorter, you don't go nearly as far, and you're not nearly as safe with it.
Yeah, her friction is not conducive to a ledge dash roll, but sometimes it's, especially with this very slow character like Zelda, you got to work with what you got.
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of these options either like
just get destroyed, or they're kind of
shut down.
They're pretty risky in their own right.
Like shield and get up. Well, okay, I say shield. So like maybe ledge dash shield or get up shield.
Like if I'm at that range just waiting and Zelda does a tournament winner, I don't know what she does. On FD, maybe on another stage she has a platform, so there's that. But like I'm obviously staring at FD, so that's why I'm thinking like on FD if she tourney winners, what the hell is she supposed to do?
She hopes you jump into a kick.
Yeah.
That's the majority of it.
Standing here at this specific range, waiting.
Yeah, because then she's up here, just like.
Yeah, like then what? Like I can do anything. Yeah, sad face.
Very sad
Exactly.
floaty.
Exactly. So I usually only see like tourney winner on a platform stage where she can reliably like quickly try to land on there before I can react, which is fine. That's actually not a terrible idea.
Right.
It's not a bad idea.
Or she could at least go high if you hit her.
Yeah.
And then either set dins or like keep a mix up to go center stage.
You just tank the damage. Hope you can kind of take back some stage or something.
Right. So all this to say that there's not really any incentive for you to get much closer than like the tip of your F tilt on like their shield.
Yeah.
And committing to anything. So here, if we were to play rock paper scissors right now, you would pick an option, and then I would pick an option, and I could be right, even if the reward for that is like not getting hit and getting off ledge and very minimal.
Yeah.
But if you
in that situation, that kind of is the reward in and of itself.
Right. But if we were to play rock paper scissors and you just refuse to play me, I can't win.
Yeah.
I eventually am going to have to throw a hand because I can't just stay on ledge forever.
Yeah,
I can't just shield forever.
I just down till you. You have to do something.
You get 30 frames to react to what I'm doing, and then we play RPS.
Yeah.
It's not quite that clear cut, of course, and there's a lot of these also do have timing and drift mix-ups depending on the character. Zelda's going to be kind of going to have one of the hardest times for this situation, but it is something that when you don't have to commit, sometimes just doing nothing is a very, very good option. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and finish out this game then.
Yeah, this is the game I lose. The set's 3-1.
It's on FD too, which is interesting. That was lucky and unlucky at the same time that Doctor decided to go for the grab there.
You thought I'm assuming he thought I was going to shield it.
Yeah, kind of. I think the thought was that
you see, I get the DI right there on that time.
Yeah.
Like I know this. I was beating myself up when I got back thrown that other time and died for it. I was like, are you kidding me? I know that.
Oh, that's right. That's how this goes. I forgot about this trade.
He died to that too.
I mean, he still had the extra stock, so it doesn't stink quite as much as it could have, but yeah. When she doesn't have the jump, there's not really a lot of incentive to go all the way up there. It is trickier than it seems when you leave the ground, though, because with the drift to the side, you're less below than you expect.
Yeah, I'm used to that just kind of working.
Yeah, but
I'm used to just dash attack up air just kind of being something that I can just get.
I mean, there's probably a case to be made where this could be like bear safe. And
I probably just shouldn't have double jumped and let him fall into my full hop up air.
Yeah, and even
I double jumped to try and like go upwards as I did it, and I didn't need to do that.
Doctor tried to jump out of this dash attack, so there's not even like a mix-up that Doctor has here. This is really all the Doctor can do is just hope that you jump into this on accident.
Oh, I had no idea he double jumped. I don't remember that being something I was thinking about. Yeah, you're right. He does double jump there.
Yep. So that's something you can look for as well in these situations where they're low to the ground, because a lot of the times people are going to be kind of lazy.
Oh yeah, if I knew he double jumped, I wouldn't have gone up there.
Yeah.
I'd probably just wait. I'd probably just play on the ground and wait a little bit, because now I know he doesn't have a double jump, so he's probably going to either air dodge or try and like desperation up B somewhere.
Right.
But I definitely didn't notice that.
It's something to look for.
I'm not used to them trying to even jump that. I'm used to them just being like, oh, I did it wrong. I'm just going to tank the dash attack, not try and waste my double jump. Yeah, he did.
So the reason that people jump here,
I am very bad at picking up like those kind of weird double jumps because I never really look for those rings. I'm never really like really looking for them.
It helps a lot when the character is already falling. So like here, there's the stage, there's the white dress, there's the hit effects, there's your sword. You're looking for DI, but it's usually a lot easier if you do like in a close fair string. It's usually a lot easier in that instance because it's not just like a stray hit. It's like a combo sequence. But if you know where your stuff isn't quite true, that can also tip you off on where to look for them. So like here, usually people just tank this like you're saying, but this is a situation where they either they tank it, they either, try to tech, they try to land and tech, they try to wiggle out, which is the safer version of trying to double jump out here for the most part, or they double jump, which is, there's different benefits depending on your character's double jump, but usually it's a lot safer to wiggle. So when
it's just harder than mashing double jump.
Yeah, it's not even that much harder if you're just holding the A button though. It's less intuitive.
Yeah.
Because if you hold A and then if you hold this down and then you tap the C stick in the other direction from where you're moving, you wiggle out. But yeah, is there anything else you particularly wanted to talk about these sets? I think that a lot of the kind of overall lessons from these sets is, in both of these sets, you got hit by something a little wacky at least once. Whether that was the back throw in Zelda,
which I was beating myself up over that. I know that there's no actual mix up there. I was kicking myself for that. I was like, I'm an idiot.
No, that's not the lesson here though. Like, it is a learned skill to be able to be like, oh, I didn't DI Lucario fair out. Oh, I got to do that, and like keep a positive mental state, especially in stuff like Zelda back there where it's like, yeah.
No, but I always make it such a point because people are, I've heard people who play Zelda say things like, oh, there's a DI mix-up with forward throw and back throw, and I'm like, no, there's not. No, there isn't.
You have Ganon brain, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, shut up. No, there's not. You're an idiot. Don't tell people that. You're just wrong. So then when I got back thrown and missed the DI, I was like, oh my god.
You're gonna be in a write-up post somewhere. See, there's a DI.
How'd you miss that? How'd you miss that? You idiot! You told me I'm so. I'm like, oh yeah, I know. That was very bad. I understand. I harp on that all the time.
But it's being able to kind of like, on the one hand, acknowledge like, okay, I messed up. It was a mistake. It's not going to happen again. Or in this case,
I was like that. Yeah, I definitely was like, that is not happening again. No way.
People to move past that is very important, and you don't miss it again later, which is good.
Yeah.
But when it's like, as you're playing a higher and higher level players, it becomes okay. So like, I gotta worry.
You almost have to remember, because they won't use it for a while because they know it doesn't work, and they'll just throw it in there randomly, and you're just like, ah. Oh,
exactly.
Motherfucker.
So, like, even later on the Lucario set, you saw Shahid tried for this straight fair to side B, and the fair actually reverse hit you.
Yeah, there was one time it reverse hit, another time where I DI'd it right.
Right, so it becomes a kind of, you have to worry about, the Ken combo. You have to worry about neutral. I don't know how to spell neutral. The big N, you got to worry about the big N at all times. You got to worry about, how are you mixing up your dash dance? Is it neutral any? See, I'll know immediately when I see it. There we go. Yeah. I just mix up the U and the E in my head, but as soon as I see it,
Yeah.
How are you mixing up your dash dancing? How are you mixing up your offense, your combo game? So eventually, you get enough of these things where you can't think about all this at the same time. So that's where stuff like Zelda can be smart and economical here. That's why sometimes Zelda F-throw works when people are like, it's last stock, game 5, or they only learn during the set that F-throw isn't like real.
Yeah.
Because you can only, like, if you got a mental stack, exactly. If you got 5 things to worry about. Okay, neutral's probably top 3, right? Maybe you're like mixing up neutrals up there. Offense. Oh, this is last stock. I'm getting hit. This is immediately number 1. And then this is important too. Well, now you can't think about these 2 at the same time. So the game is now going to be, does Fearless realize what you're thinking about and what you're not? Is he able to... Yeah, Zardback, there's another one. Is Fearless able to kind of rotate between these to keep you on your toes, to where you have to go like, okay, my combo game, he's DIing that really well. I can leave that for a minute. Let me think about this. And then maybe he can take some more risks on his combos, or on his DI in your combos, that you're not ready for because you're thinking about 3 other things like, oh yeah, his down B's in Vuln frame 13. His down air is really fast. His fair start's low. How do I shark him? How do I do all this and that and that?
Yeah.
And being able to do all of this while going like, okay, I got Ken combo, moving on, is really, really hard sometimes. But it is a learned skill. It's something you can practice by being in that position frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and get rid of it. Why am I doing that? I have a button for this. This little trash can button that erases everything that I always forget I have. But yeah, being able to do all of that kind of at the same time while playing the game is really, to an extent, it is a subconscious thing. Once you have to have it running on subconscious at a certain point, running in your hands of like, oh, I'm mixing up your dash dance approaches, mixing up, how you approach, mixing up your timings. Because if you think about that constantly, you can't think about what they're doing. It's just too much.
Yeah.
So the game can kind of become like, oh, here's pattern 1, here's pattern 2, here's habit 3, here's habit 4. And you're not actively thinking, okay, plan C, I'm going to pick option 3 and then move to option 4 afterwards. It's just that in your hands, when you tell your hands, I need to mix my stuff up, you have this bag of tricks to pull from.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not stuck in just, okay.
Not like a weird checklist.
Yeah. It's not just the token like, okay, I packed my toothpaste, I packed my extra clothes, I got my wallet. It's not something to be done for the sake of being done. It's something to be done for the sake... Can I be smart about this? A little bit. Hell yeah. It's something to be done for the sake of giving your opponent a problem.
Yeah.
Because in that same way of like, we had all these things you had to worry about. Your opponents have one too, especially since you're a fast character. That means that you can initiate these a little more easily than the slower cast can. So, maybe option 1 is, you're fishing for a lot of anti-CC stuff. Maybe this option 2 is that you're just waiting to whiff punish. Option 3 is you're just, taking a lot of space with fair. These all require, even if not significantly different answers, they require different thought processes to get around.
Yeah.
So as you cycle through these more efficiently only really meaning like more unexpectedly here.
Mm-hmm.
And where you have the highest reward. So like fishing with down air when they're at 0 is a high reward, but once they're at 50, sweet spot fair, for instance, like might also fit into anti-CC moves. So as these change based on matchup percent stage, your percent, keeping this being a giant question mark is how you get people to kind of like to forget, to guess wrong on, to panic on a DI mix up with your F throw and down throw. That's how you get Ken combos to go off when you either have more momentum than they expect, or like they think you're gonna like do something else. They didn't expect to get hit by that fair there, etc.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's. I promise this time. I think that's the last thing I really want to talk about. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I also just don't want to hold you too much because I know it was supposed to be an hour and we're already at like freaking, I don't even know what time it is.
Hour 20.
Yeah, so I don't want to hold you too long after that as well. I think this is very good.
Hell yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close down the stream. Thank you all for watching and or watching the VOD.